Alright, I'm gonna rant about another game. This one I've played and is pretty good, and I've at least seen on Wikipedia that it's gonna be made into a film. It's Bioshock. The story behind Bioshock is that this one individual named Andrew Rhynes decided to separate himself from normal society and decided to build his own under the sea, undersea city called Rapture. Now, between what happened when he built Rapture and when you start playing is he had this conflict between with a thug named Frank Fontaine, I think, who appealed mostly to the smugglers. Both started making genetic modification items, Adam and Eve, but the populace of Rapture got so addicted to both that they became these mutated entities called splicers. You start playing as this one individual that is guided by someone named Atlas to discover some way to save his family and probably in due time bring down Andrew Ryan. Mostly the gameplay is the basic first-person shooter, except you have some new special abilities. You can upgrade your character with special tonics. By far, my favorite and most useful one to use is some kind of camouflage tonic, where what you do is if you stand still long enough, nobody will see you. Or at least that works for security robots, which all you can do is just duck out of sight and then stay still, and they won't even notice you. But some of the stuff improves some of your abilities, but some of them are kind of pointless. For instance, ones where you use the wrench, you start out with a wrench, but since you get guns, you use the wrench far less often. Then there's the plasmids, which is the kind of I would call magic things that you can use alternately to guns. My favorite one that I like using is the Electrobolt ability, where I can actually electrocute enemies by just flicking my hand. And it works well if enemies are standing in water, because then you can just electrically charge the water and then kill everyone that's standing in it. There are other certain ones too, but some of them don't do very well. For instance, there's telekinesis, which is needed for the main quest, but the problem is it's not really that good. You don't use it very often. I think the only way you would use it is probably to get rid of traps or just to chuck bombs back at splicers. And then there's some other ones, like ones where you freeze enemies, but by turning them to ice and then killing them, all you do is you kill them without having you pick up items. You have a lot of options, or a few options in this. One of them is hacking, where you can either electrocute or short-circuit a machine, or freeze it, and you can somewhat perform this little weird puzzle to make it work for you. The problem is the difficulty usually changes, depending on how far you go. For instance, safes are always very hard. And what you do mostly is you find pipes and try to lead the current to the endpoint, but there are some that are breaks or set off alarms if you try hacking them. And a lot of things can be hacked: vending machines, gun turrets, robots. The Other major element is that there are some machines where if you find random items lying around, you can make new things. For instance, you can make new types of ammo for different guns. Plus, there's gun modification areas. The there's the one major development in character, and to start out with, it's in Rapture they have these entities called Little Sisters, which are basically little girls for some reason that store Adam. The plasmids run on Eve. Adam is something completely different altogether. But they harvest Adam from corpses, and they're always guarded by these huge behemoths in diving suits named Big Daddies. You have to kill a Big Daddy to get access to the Little Sister, and they take a whole lot of damage, but I think since I was playing at a certain difficulty, it was pretty easy for me, because all I just do was electrocute them, stun them, and then fire 4 blasts of shotgun at them. But getting access to the Little Sisters is the major changing development of character, and that is morality. You can either harvest the atom within them, which kills them, but you get all the atom from them, or you can rescue them, which only gives you half the atom amount, but there are some certain benefits for saving them. For instance, they will give you extra atom if you save enough, plus some tonics and other gifts. You use atom in machines to buy more plasmids, since not many of them are found in the open after the first few levels, and some other tonics. But you can only get a certain amount of atom. You can also only get a certain amount of money. But because of the whole morality thing, you can only choose between the good ending or the bad ending. If you, I don't know what the good ending is or the bad ending, but all I know is that if you save all the girls, you're good. But if you kill all the girls, you're evil. There's no in between. That's kind of the difficult thing. I don't know, they do give some kind of freedom to the FPS, but there's some other elements that doesn't really seem at all like an FPS at all. But nevertheless, I've heard it kind of ripped off some other games, but it's still pretty decent. It's playable. I enjoyed it. And I'll talk to you later about what the Bioshock movie is going to be.